Assalamu alaikum, Julia students. Today I'm going to deliver my online lecture class, and today we will continue with the previous topic, that is development of frog. All right. So earlier we had discussed about the this main character between the distinguished character between the male and female, and today we will start with mating, and after that we will discuss meeting of gametes, then the fertilization and cleavage. Okay. Mating is the first and foremost step in the process of development of an organism. So here we know that this male and female, they come close to each other, and they just in the position of the transfer of gametes from male to female. Okay, so we know that during copulation the male produce some sound from their vocal sac. Okay, and this sound we call it just like this crack 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 extra. Okay, so this mating call is produced by male, and it is highly specific. Only this female of its own species can attract by his call. Okay, so after that the female following his call, they just approach him and come close to each other, and when they comes in contact, the male just clamp on the back of the female and tightly hold with the help of here these forelimbs, and this position is known as implex. Okay, and after that, and this implex may last for 1 hour to 1 day. All right, so at that time this female just release her egg in the water, and at the same time male also produce his sperm over it. Okay, and in this way the mating of gametes takes place, right? You can see here. Okay, so after the mating of gamete, the other step is fertilization. We know that we had earlier discussed that fertilization is this fusion of haploid male and female gamete, which result in the formation of a diploid cell. We call it zygote. Okay, and this whole process is known as fertilization. Right, you can see here this is ova, which are released by this female, and here it is sperm, which is produced by this male, and finally they just come close to each other. Okay, and finally they fuse to form a single cell. We call it zygote. But this whole fertilization process is not very simple as we are seeing here. Okay, it is a very complex process. We know that the egg is covered by many protective layer. We call it this egg jelly. It's made of albumin. Okay, and a vitelline membrane. Okay, so this sperm has to penetrate or has to go through these barriers before it come in contact with the cell membrane. Right? Okay, so how it is possible? It is done by the acrosome itself. Okay, so when it come in contact with the egg, these acrosome just come close to this cell membrane. Okay, and finally the acrosomal membrane and the plasma membrane, they fuse each other. At the point of contact, they just open outside and release their content, acrosomal content, on the surface of the egg. Actually, this acrosome contains enzymes. For example, hyaluronidase enzyme, sperm lysine extra. Okay, this dissolve the outer egg envelope, egg jelly, and this vitelline membrane. Okay, so you can see here they just release their content on the egg surface. You can see. Okay, finally they dissolve this outer egg envelope, means this egg jelly and vitelline membrane. Okay, and after that, what happened? This the inner side of the acrosomal membrane, they just evaginate, starting to move towards the egg. Okay, and finally this evaginated part is known as acrosomal tube. Right, and this evaginated part, they just move towards the egg through this this dissolved egg envelope or egg jelly. Okay, and finally come in contact with the egg membrane, right? So it chromosomal tube and this plasma membrane contact, the plasma membrane just form a cone like structure, and this cone structure is known as this fertilization cone, right? And finally at this point of contact they just fused each other and form a continuous channel, you can see here. Okay, through this chromosomal tube the nucleus of the sperm, okay, starting to move towards the egg cytoplasm, right? Finally it reached here, you can see, right? So at this step the chromosomal reaction is completed. After the entry of the egg nucleus is started another important step, we call it cortical reaction, right? So during this process we know that the egg is enclosed by protected by a many protective layer, we call it egg jelly and this Wetland membrane, right? And it is followed by plasma membrane. Okay, here you can see the Wetland membrane, okay, and plasma membrane, and after that this area, okay, and the cytoplasm of the egg, okay. And in this area, there's lot of, just below the plasma membrane there's a lot of granular structure is present, okay, here for example, and these globular structure are called cortical granule. Okay, this cortical granule contain three important structure. Okay, first we called dark folded bodies, okay, here it is present, okay, and globules, these are the globules, and some liquid, okay. So what happened here? First, this Wetland membrane, you can see it is very close with the with this plasma membrane. They just separated from the plasma membrane and form a large space. Okay, here you can see this space is called peri-Wetland space, right? After that, these cortical granule, they just come close contact with the plasma membrane, and at the point of contact they just open inside this peri-Wetland space. Okay, so it releases its contact directly in this gap, okay, in the peri-Wetland space, right? So after that, the dark fold bodies, they just form a membrane just below the Wetland membrane, and now it is called fertilization membrane, right? And the globules, they form a membrane just above the plasma membrane. Okay, here we call it hyaline layer. Okay, right? And the fluid, they just filled this space, we call it pre-Wetland fluid. Okay, so after the formation of this the fertilization membrane, it prevents the further entry of the sperm, or you can say it prevents the polyspermy of the egg, right? So after that, it start another important step, we call it activation of ovum. We know that this egg were released at the secondary oocyte stage. Okay, after the releasing of this first polar body, after the cortical granule reaction, these nucleus undergo second meiotic division, which results in the formation of second polar body and a mature ovum, right? So after that, what happened? Crescent-like, gray color crescent-like structure is formed just below the equator towards the vital pole site, and this structure is known as gray crescent. Gray crescent appear on the surface of the egg opposite to the entry of the sperm entry, right? The second point is the region of the Great Crescent will become the posterior side, and the opposite region will become the anterior side of the future embryo, right? And this lead to the formation of a definite bilateral symmetry in the fertilized egg, okay, whereas the unfertilized egg has a radially symmetrical, right? Great crescent mark the future dorsal side of the embryo, right? The first cleavage bisect the great crescent into two equal halves, and this plane represent the future median plane of the embryo, right? You can see here the first cleavage furrow, they divided the great crescent into two equal parts. And 6, in the gastrula, the great crescent material are located on the dorsal lip of the blastopore. Okay, here is this blastopore. Okay, it is just a depression, just form it in between the annual pole and ventral pole. Okay, this area is known as dorsal lip. These blastopore area, they act as an organizer. It initiated the process of this embryogenesis in this blastula, right? When we removed it from the embryo, the embryo failed to develop further, right? But at the same time, when we graft this blastopore area into another blastula, okay, it start organogenesis, start this embryogenesis from the 2 point, and result formation of a double-headed embryo. Alright. In case of the fertilization of frog, we have to discuss two very important points. That is called the formation of the penetration path and copulation path. Okay. So after the penetration of the sperm, right? Then this sperm moves. The nucleus of the sperm moves in the cortex perpendicularly along the radius of the egg. This path of the sperm is marked by granules, pigmented granules. Okay, and this line is called, this path is called penetration path. So after they crossing the cortex, the sperm change its direction and move towards the nucleus, right? And this change path is also marked by a pigmented granules. Okay, right? And it is called copulation path. And finally, this nucleus, the nucleus of the egg and the nucleus of the sperm, they just meet each other and fuse to form a single nucleus. We call now this whole structure is called zygote. Okay, and this fusion of this male and female nucleus resulting in the formation of diploid cell is known as amphimexis. Amphimexis means the egg pronucleus and the sperm pronucleus fuse together to form the zygote nucleus. This process is known as amphimexis. Okay, now we have got this diploid zygote, okay, here, right? After that this nucleus goes into another step, we call it cleavage or segmentation. Okay, we know that this in case of frog, the first the cleavage is meridional. Okay, and it divided the whole cell into two equal cell. Okay, and second cleavage is also meridional, and which result in the formation of 4 blastomere. All are equal in size, right? And the third cleavage is vertical. Okay, and it's formed just above the equator. Okay, so it's formed two types of cell. The animal pole side cells are smaller in size, they are called macromere, and the vital hemisphere cells are large in size, we call it macromere. Okay, and finally this form this mass of cell. Okay, and we call it morula. Okay, so today in the top here, and we will discuss after the blastulation, FAD map, gastrulation, extra in the coming lecture videos. Okay, thank you so much.